All you Jack Sparrow cosplayers should go and chuck those outfits overboard. The real show stealers of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise were of course Pintel and Ragetti. Are two sentences you'll never hear anyone say unless they are full of sark, or have a dislike of Keith Richards impersonators. The pirate ancestors of Jasper and Horace appeared in 3 of the 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, as the box-standard comic relief. Being minor supporting characters, they were a step down on the importance to the plot ladder from Mr. Gibbs, but a step above the 2 dim-witted Royal Marines who also appeared in 3 of the movies, and to be honest are pretty much just a clean-shaven Pintel and Ragetti. Speaking of clean, they have to be the 2 most disgusting looking creatures I have ever talked about on this show, and I've talked about Argus Filch, the Hitcher, Gilbert Gottfried, a rapey snake, and an enormous cock. According to Pirates of the Caribbean The Visual Guide, Ragetti covered his trousers in tar to make them waterproof, and Pintel pissed on his trousers to remove bloodstains. I'm guessing they use Jif microliquid for eye drops based on the colour of their balls. Pintel was played by Lee Arenberg, who besides the Pirates movies is best known for playing Grumpy Dwarf since 2011 on the TV series Once Upon a Time. Mackenzie Crook, who plays Ragetti, has so far had more of a versatile career than his co-pirate, as in addition to acting in The Office and Game of Thrones, he is also the writer, director and co-star of the sitcom Detectorists. But without a doubt, his best known role is that of Pirate Flunky No. 2 in that CGI Tintin movie.
Mind the time. I'm join the circus. Don't mind if I shine your shoes, sir.
Somebody was recently comparing it to R2-D2 and C-3PO. I'm not sure who's who in that double act, because we both think we're intelligent, but we're both pretty well stupid.
If only the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise had begun 80 years ago. Though at this point it feels like it's been going for that long, because Laurel and Hardy would have been perfect to play these 2 twits. Perhaps instead of Arenberg and Crook, they should have cast Bronson Pinchot and Gaylord Sart. No! The duo make their debut 30 minutes into 2004's smash hit The Curse of the Black Pearl, as they are among the tribe of pirates who attack Port Royal. And the only thing really that memorable about these 2 scurvy-ridden rats is established in their first shot. One of them has a wooden eyeball, because eye patches hadn't been invented yet. They then turn into the leaders of the pack as they shoot Elizabeth Swann's butler and storm into her mansion.
Hide, and the first chance you get, run to the fort.
Yes, tell her to go outside. I'm sure that army of sex-starved pirates craving some booty will kindly escort her to the fort.
Gotcha.
Could have been worse. That might have been the contents of her chamber pot.
We know you're here, Poppet.
Pirates of the Caribbean, sponsored by Poppets.
The gold calls to us.
So it seems this raid was all in aid of the pirates being spiritually summoned by a piece of Aztec gold that Elizabeth has had ever since she was played by a different actress, and found it upon the unconscious body of a little jump scare. Later recast as Orlando Bloom.
Parley!
What?
And so, under the terms and conditions of Parsley,
I'm a very friendly lion called
Parley!
they return to their ship so Elizabeth can have certain speaks with their captain. OMG, it's Peter Sellers! Now in possession of what they came to town for, the pirates set sail, taking Elizabeth with them, because flat-chested women have just as much right to be held captive as regular-sized chested women. Chest. During the voyage, Pintel and Ragetti deliver a message from Captain Barbossa. Pintel does the talking, and Ragetti does the wide-eyed drooling idiot.
I am disinclined to acquiesce to his request.
If that be the case, you'll be dining with the crew. and you'll be naked.
Disappointed!
Barbossa explains that he and his crew have been cursed due to them stealing the Aztec monies 10 years before. Not only are they immortal, but when they are struck by moonlight, their skin instantly sheds. What's more, they feel nothing.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
They have journeyed to Neverland to return the final piece of the gold and finally be rid of Cusco's curse. But first, time for a camping trip.
You can buy an eye that actually fits and it's made of glass.
This one does splinter something terrible.
Stop rubbing it.
See, they are even as heterosexual as Laurel and Hardy.
You idiot!
Did it work?
How do we tell?
He shot me!
'Tis but a scratch.
Was your father William Turner? Where's his child? The child in whose veins flows the blood of William Turner.
Unfortunately, the lost coin needed to be mixed with William Turner's dad's blood, and Elizabeth lied about this earlier because she knew it would prevent the pirates from harming her until this moment, except she didn't know that. Whatever.
Richard Lighty.
Say what?
Richard Lighty.
Don't think you needed your detector to work that one out, crook.
If any coward here dare challenge me, let him speak.
You are all immortal, ya bampots. While searching for Elizabeth, who has been saved by William, the pirates encounter their former captain.
You're supposed to be dead!
Am I not?
Before they blow all the rum out of his system, Jack pleads parley. With help from Ragetti.
Parlay? That's the one. Parlay.
Parlay.
Disappointed!
During the battle between the good pirates and the bad pirates, Pintel has the honour of hoisting the black flag, and Ragetti has the honour of starring in one of the most disturbing shots of the film.
Bam! The old fork in the eye.
I know that was his wooden eye, but even so. Actually, if that had been his real eye, that would have been hilariously tragic. In retaliation, they bring down the protagonist's mainsail with the aid of a ball and chain, courtesy of Avril Dalton.
Barbossa! This is a spitting image of old Bootstrap Bill! Come back toward us!
Give the guy a break, he's partially blind. On the way back to Cannibal Cove, Pintel tells William the tale behind his father's death.
He said we deserve to be cursed and remain cursed.
That didn't sit too well with the captain at all. Tell him what Barbossa did.
I'm telling a story!
He knows. He just told you to continue. So keep calm and carry on.
And last we saw of old Bill Turner, he was sinking to the crushing black oblivion of...
I don't like this story.
Incidentally, Pintel and Ragetti's backstory is not explored at any point during the 12 hours of Jack Sparrow's Big Adventure movie. So apparently Lee Arenberg and Mackenzie Crook made up their own for the characters, allowing them to feel more motivated in their acting craft.
Yeah, I'm his uncle. It was like he was my sister's kid. He was Terry Ragetti, I was Abner Pintel. We just created our own backstory. And then we shared half a brain.
You know, I'd say having two relations have half of the same brain is too far into the realms of fantasy, but then I remember which franchise I'm talking about. After Jack catches up to Barbossa and his immortal crew, he convinces his former first mate to first annihilate the Royal Navy who are waiting outside before they return their mortality by spilling William's blood. Under orders from the Man of 1,000 Body Piercings, Pintel and Ragetti perform a distraction by rowing out from the caves wearing dresses, while the rest of the crew silently board the Navy's vessel.
I really feel like a fool.
Look nice, though.
What are you, homo?
Once on board the ship, they attempt to blow up Elizabeth's no-nonsense admirer, Morecambe and Wise, and the rest of the soldiers. I'm not saying the odds are totally against you, but you are all wearing red shirts. Actually, that turns out to be a complete waste of balls, since they don't hit any of them. Meanwhile, Mr. Gibbs and the other good pirates are escaping, thanks to Elizabeth.
They're stealing our ship!
Bloody pirates!
During the battle, Ragetti's wooden eye is knocked out of the socket, and he recovers it just in time to find out what the score is.
You failed!
Parlay.
3 years later, Dead Man's Chest set sail, but in that same summer of 2006, the video game The Legend of Jack Sparrow also came out. The second level takes place during the attack of Port Royal and the Swan Mansion.
Puppet.
Let us in and we promise we won't hurt you.
We won't.
Shut up!
The last mission of the level is defeating Pintel by dropping a chandelier on him.
Get in here and help me, you worthless lot!
Trouble.
In the game, Pintel and Ragetti were both voiced by Greg Ellis, who played Theodore Groves, a character that appeared throughout the Pirates franchise as the right-hand man of Commodore Norrington and Captain Does This Wig Make My Peg Leg Look Big, Barbossa. I have no idea if Pintel and Ragetti have a further role in the game, as I've never been able to get past level 18, more specifically Pirate Mallet. The duo make their second debut once again at the 30-minute mark. They have escaped from jail thanks to the jailhouse dog, and Ragetti has seemingly grasped a few more brain cells since the last movie, as he has now upgraded from a drooling idiot to a philosophical idiot.
You know you can't read.
It's the Bible, you get credit for trying.
Must have seen a catfish.
I don't get it.
Conveniently, since Pintel's mission is to steal the Black Pearl, they have rowed to its location, on an island inhabited by cannibals that have taken the crew as prisoners.
It's ours for the taking!
Were they spiritually drawn to it like the gold? How else could they have tracked down the ship? The naughty protagonists have escaped and flee to the ship to find Pintel barking orders at Ragetti, whose wooden eye has been pinched by Barbossa's monkey Jack.
You won't give it back!
Well, how'd you get it back last
Excellent!
time?
The work's half done!
We've done it for you! Knowing you'd be coming back
Make
for
it
it!
a sail, boy!
What about Jack?
So I guess Gibbs and Turner have no problem or interest in the fact that two fools who were trying to kill them in the last film are now on board their ship. At least Captain Johnny Depp briefly acknowledges them with a "the fuck are you guys doing here" glance. But even Williams Dolly Bell's reaction to them now working with the anti-heroes seems played down. It would be like if in Return of Jafar, Iago had just shown up in Agrabah and said,
I gotta get back into the palace!
and everyone's response was,
Sure, mate.
And so, for the rest of the movie, and the next one, Pintel and Ragetti are amongst the few named and quirky crew members of Team Black Pearl, including Minnie Marty, Old Mute Cotton, and his parrot. Meaning their screen time has greatly increased, though their involvement with the plot is more or less the same.
Dichotomy of good and evil.
Much later, they take up the oars once again and row Jack, Elizabeth, and the disgraced Commodore Norrington to the island where Davy Jones buried his heart.
Always heard it said Kraken.
Crotland's how it's pronounced in the original Scandinavian.
We ain't original Scandinavians, are we?
It's a mythological creature and calls it what I want.
And this short sequence of the two discussing the pronunciation of Kraken could very probably have been spoken by Thompson and Thompson had Spielberg and Jackson's second Tintin movie been Red Rackham's Treasure.
Oh, SpaghettiOs!
A Mexican standoff ensues, and even though each makes themselves perfectly clear as to why they need Jones's heart, Ragetti explains it all for his colleagues' benefit.
Each wants the chest for himself, don't he? Mr. Norrington, I think, is trying to regain a bit of honour. Old Jack's looking to trade it, save his own skin.
Realising the worth of the heart, they grab the chest and run into the jungle. Because escaping via the boat which the chest was near to would have been the dumber option, clearly. Oh.
You are not smarter than me!
feminist ways are no match for our swords. One game of sword toss later, and it's time for the final battle against the Flying Dutchman and the Kraken.
Only this time, for the first time.
Fortunately, Will knows that the beast always maneuvers itself into attacking position slower than a hungry python. Saved by being semi-main characters, Pintel and Ragetti abandon the Pearl with the others, watch as the ship and its Sparrow are devoured, and attend the pitch for At World's End.
Will you sail to the ends of the earth and beyond to fetch back wicked Jack?
Fuck no!
You're right, Nigel. That sounds like it could get really overly complicated and really weird. On the other hand, why not? Starring Harvey Dent as predictable reference. Our anti-heroes have journeyed to the Chinatown district of Singapore to steal Fu Manchu's map to the world's end, and at the same time inform him that it's high time the Brethren Court was assembled to deal with the dreaded fucker.
Stew pots!
Meanwhile, the comical crew have crawled into Captain Chew Your Foot's steam bath. The mission seems to be fronted by Ragetti. A one-eyed scout? Makes total sense. I spy with my wooden eye something beginning with P.
Penis.
Close enough. After journeying to the frozen wastelands of Canada, Pintel and Ragetti ponder a very legitimate question.
Why don't that Obey woman just bring Jack back the same way she brought back Barbosa?
Because...
I knew there was a good reason.
Next stop, Niagara Falls, whereupon their magical mystery tour concludes with the desert of rock lobsters. I mean rock crabsters.
Look, everybody!
Calypso got crabs.
Why should I sail with any of you? 4 of you have tried to kill me in the past.
Were Pintel and Ragetti included in that? Because by my count that only leaves room for one of them.
Don't need you, you scare me. My ship makes me captain.
They be my charts.
Shut the fuck up!
Sailing along the sea of
Lost souls.
our bad little boys decide it would be a rather witty wheeze to drop some cannonballs on the
Lost souls.
What happened? Did your balls drop off?
Coming to the conclusion that the only way to escape purgatory is to upside down when the sun sets, Ragetti has a fantastic idea.
The tights up to the mast, upside down, so when the boat flips, we'll be the right way up.
Which member of the crew did they ask to tie them there? Barbosa? They arrive on some island for some reason, which just so happens to be the one that the Kraken has washed up onto, having been killed by order of Lord Fucker.
Pintel and Ragetti, Kraken Slayers.
That was the first time Pintel and Ragetti's names are spoken. I never heard any other character call them by their names, nor have they referred to each other by name.
The world's still the same. It's just less in it.
By the way, there is still 2 hours of this movie left. God damn it.
Hey! We got company!
Why do you bloody pirates keep making the splintered socket your lookout? Much later, the non-mutated nor Asian pirates have arrived at Shipwreck Cove, location of the Brethren Court. where the 9 pirate lords must present their calling cards, for reasons that seem very red-tapey to me. Barbossa's piece is none other than Ragetti's wooden eye. Does that mean that if he wanted to, Ragetti could claim to be one of the pirate lords since he possesses one of the pirate lords' calling cards? Also, what defines you as one of the 9 kings of piracy? How legendary you are? Or if you win the down a barrel of rum and live challenge, which would surely allow Gibbs to qualify for said title too. Anyway, the Brethren Court get to blethering. Even the jailhouse dog shows up, having concluded his holiday cruise with the cannibals.
Sea turtles, mate.
The dog escaped thanks to sea turtles? What have you been smoking, Keith Richards? Wait, don't bother answering that. Well, shit. Looks like Paul Anderson finally made that sequel to The Three Musketeers. But where are the Zeppelin boats? Fuck! While everyone in Shipwreck Cove was cheering, Barbossa signalled to Tweedle-Twit and Tweedle-Twat, who slyly stole all the Pirate Lord's pieces of junk. He does so that he can free Calypso against the Brethren Court's wishes, and use her gratitude to smite the fucker and the Dutchman.
That must be spoken as if to a lover.
Release you from your human bonds.
Awkward. Who knew Patchy the Pirate was such a great lover?
Goodness knows what this will do. Whoa, 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 whoa!
I warned you she had crabs. And now Pintel and Patchy have crabs.
Oh my.
Did somebody say inspirational speech? No, just get to the fucking battle.
On top of everything, it's raining! That's a bad sign!
The pair are pretty obsolete during the fight, besides watching Will and Liz snog and shooting Jack the Monkey out a cannon. Though this was possibly unintentional, as I think they were unaware it was hiding in there. Then they give just as much a bemused look as the protagonists did when they see their doppelgangers have also had a change of politics.
Goodbye, puppet.
What do you mean, ah? It's not a fucking pantomime, you know?
Presumably not too much later, after popping to Tortuga for his yearly requirement of prostitutes, Captain Sparrow finds himself in the same position as over 10 years before.
Some of the men don't feel entirely settled about leaving Captain Jack behind. Again.
As Patchy begins to carve himself a new eyeball, Barbossa discovers that Jack may have tampered with the map to the Fountain of Youth.
Disappointed!
4 years later, On Stranger Tides informed us that the Black Pearl has been imprisoned inside a glass bottle by Blackbeard, and although it was never stated nor shown, it could be presumed that that meant its crew had been shrunk down too. However, 6 years later, not only was this shown not to be the case, but Pintel and Ragetti seem to have suffered the same fate as Anna Maria. Whatever, I don't need another sequel to see what happens to these characters. I already know that 2 centuries later, Barbossa got a job working as King George VI's speech therapist, and Mr. Gibbs got a job in a sex shop, presumably having drunk out of the Fountain of Youth first. Apparently, the absence of the 2 characters in Dead Men Tell No Tales was due to Mackenzie Crook being unsure whether he would be available due to working on his TV series, and thus, even though Lee Arenberg was keen to return, the characters were not added to the script. They did, however, have a small appearance in the game Disney Infinity, where they were voiced by the actors, and Pintel seems to have stolen Cotton's grey beard.
We need to blast it.
But the gunpowder's wet.
And thus concludes the Chronicles of Pintel and Ragetti. Final thoughts? They're a couple of amusing scallywags. And sadly, that's the highest praise I'm willing to give them.
Take this fishwife to the brig.
Right this way, Mrs. Fish.
I don't get it.
Until next time, viewers, this is Jeffrey Kitch saying, drink up me hearties, yo-ho!
Ahoy, Jeffrey! Do you want to go on an adventure? I've got a boat. Okay, I took the wheel off the wheelbarrow. Oh, and by the way, it's pronounced Caribbean, you racist bastard!